Welcome everyone to our daily Forex market analysis call. This is in preparation for trading on September 20th, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. And if you have questions about your individual investment needs, I recommend you talk to your investment advisor. We will start off by taking a look at our Forex Factory calendar here. I just restarted my computer just before the call, so just give me a minute to pull the site up. We need Forex Factory. Okay, perfect. So today we had negative number come out for a current account. Market didn't really do much. We just had sideways movement. It just kind of went up and down. Not much of anything in the New York session here. So what's going on here is we are basically setting up in preparation for FOMC meeting tomorrow. So FOMC meeting is huge. So here what we are looking for basically is the important thing is the interest rate. So interest rate is not expected to go up at this point. So what market will be looking for is indication from the Fed to see if they are going to raise rates, continue on the path of raising rates. So if we get any indication that shows that they're going to raise rates in December, that will be positive for the US dollar. But a lot of times FOMC has been, like most of the previous FOMC meetings have been bad for the US dollar. So just keep that in mind. Going into the meeting, we are not going to have any of the trades open. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to have any US dollar trade open going into FOMC because a lot of times it's very volatile. It can go up and down. So it can be a little bit crazy during this time. We do have retail sales number coming out for British pound as well. So that will be important number for the pound, and crude oil inventories, which will be important for Canadian dollar as well as GDP number for New Zealand. Another central bank here, Bank of Japan. So going into this Bank of Japan meeting here, what market is kind of looking to see if Bank of Japan will follow suit with some of the other central bankers, and they will go from all this negative policy, monetary policy, into maybe a neutral stance. They're not going to raise rates. They have negative rates. So market is not expecting them to raise rates at this point. However, every time they deliver the statement, they're usually negative, right? So and usually Japanese yen kind of gets impacted negatively by it. So this time market is watching to see if we'll see any kind of positive commentary out of those. So again, it doesn't really have any time, but usually it comes out in the late Asian, so later part of the Asian session or early London session. So if you're trading the London session, just be careful with that. So that's coming up on Wednesday here. All right, so let's move on to the charts here. Looks like a lot of volatility in the market right now all of a sudden. So based on Euro US dollar here, we are bullish. We are into the support and resistance level here, so into the 120 level. And so the bullish close for the day, so we are looking for it to move up higher. With FOMC, this could go all the way into 1.2100 or even higher. So in terms of expectation, we are looking for a kind of we're looking for a continuation of this bullish move all the way into the top here. So in terms of the pullback, we could see a pullback into, let's go to a 1 hour chart. So we may see a pullback if things stay, if the bullishness kind of stays. So we may see a very shallow pullback, so into 1.1980 level. And if it comes deeper, so I would just expect it to come into the S1 level here. So looking for basically pivot point or S1 for pullback. But overall, we are bullish on this one. Pound US dollar, pound dollar is also bullish. It is holding this previous support and resistance level. So looking for price to move up further. The target will be the high 1.3620 level here. So that will be the target to the upside. In terms of the pullback, we may see a pullback into 134.50 level. So I would just be careful with the pound. So it hasn't, it dropped through the 135 level, but it hasn't gone further. So this one is bullish as well. Pound, Aussie US dollar here. This one is looking bullish. So yesterday we had a bearish candle close. It has reversed today. Really, I think just overall, we are seeing bullishness for the US, for bearishness for US dollar. Maybe that's an easier way to put it. So that's why, so I think everything is kind of organized or looking up. So the next target here would be 80.50 level to the upside. Sorry, can you give me 1 second, please? Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, so Aussie, we're looking, looks like a bullish close. So basically, I'm still in that trade. Unfortunately, trade is not going the way we want it to. So I'm looking for a pullback into this pivot point level here, into right about here. So this is where price tried to get back. So we had a big bearish pin bar here, and this is where we had taken the trade, but that pin bar failed. It did not continue. So it looked like back into R1 here that we were going to pull back. It only pulled back into the previous level here, and then it has just kind of gone sideways. So now we're looking for, so I'm just looking for price to come down a little bit into this pivot point level. So we'll just close out that trade. That will be that, because overall right now, based on the daily close, this is a bullish engulfing candle, which suggests that we are likely to see the price move up higher, especially with today's theme ahead of the FOMC meeting, where we are seeing the US dollar weakness. That is not a good sign for this. So just keep an eye on that. New Zealand dollar, again, we had a very nice daily pin bar yesterday. Again, a failed pin bar. And these kind of things can happen, especially with big meetings like this. So right now we are looking bullish on this one. We are into this resistance with New Zealand. See how it hasn't broken above this level? So I would keep an eye on this 73.40-ish level. And if the price moves up higher, then we are looking at 73.91 level, so about 7,400 for the next move to the upside. But again, after the failed pin bar, this is looking bullish here. So see how it's holding the high here. So it could continue further and then move up higher. So this is bullish here as well. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is very neutral. Because it's holding above this previous high of 122.20 level, we are going to consider this still bullish. But if US dollar, so with this one, it's interesting that, excuse me, the other commodity currencies, even though they were negative before, they've kind of shifted their stance. This one hasn't been able to hold the levels here. So with this one, we could see a pullback into 1.2220 level, and then a further move to the upside. But if the US dollar loses across the board, then we could see a drop in dollar CAD as well. So something to keep in mind. For now, it's holding here. It did bounce off of the pivot point, and I'm looking for it to come back and test this level here, 122.20 once again. And especially if US dollar weakens further, then we may see price even go lower and go into the base of this candle, which is 21.80. So for now, this is very, very neutral. We just need to see how the price reacts. So the first target to the downside here will be 122.20, and beyond that, we will have to see if it breaks it, then 21.80 will be the next target to the downside. Euro Swiss here, big daily close. We have broken above. So at this point, I'm looking for a pullback into 1.1520 level, and then a further move to the upside. And in terms of aiming here, it is becoming quite difficult to see the level. So we are right into uncharted territory. So 1.1700. So 1700, 1.1700 is the next target to the upside. So it's got a couple hundred pips away, so it may not move all in one day. But right now, so I'm looking for a pullback into this level and then a further move to the upside. Pound Swiss here. Pound Swiss is just like pound US dollar. It's holding this level, looking for a retest of the highs here. So we are, even though the candle close is quite neutral, we're looking for price to move up higher because it has bounced off of this previous high. So we're looking for it to continue further. 1.3080 will be the next target to the upside. Dollar Swiss here. Dollar Swiss, very, very neutral close, so may not be the best pair to trade. In this case, basically, we're just expecting the price to kind of stay between that range. So 96.50, if price comes into here, we may see a drop, and if price comes into 95.60, we may see a bounce off of that level. So looking for a range-bound market there. Pound yen hasn't done much at all, very, very range bound, looking for price to basically move between the range. So again, 150, 160 level would be a potential short, 150 level would be a potential long. So we have to wait for price to go touch either level, and then we can take a trade. This one is Euro Yen. Euro Yen has been bullish. The candles are decreasing in size, so we have to be careful with this one because we may run out of, it may be running out of its bullishness. So the next target to the upside is into 134.50 level. So it's still bullish and looking for a pullback into 133.20 level here. So looking for price to pull back and then move further into kind of like this into the 50 level. And Aussie Yen. Aussie Yen, we have seen a bullish close, but we are into the highs. So I would say we may see price kind of come down from there. So this is, we'll treat this as a range bound market as well, looking for price to come into 88.50. As long as it stays below 89.50 level, we're looking for it to come down. If it breaks up above that, then we're looking for a further move to the upside, and the target would be 90.50 to the upside. But this level here will be very important because price did drop off quite a bit off of this level. So if it doesn't break this level, then we're looking for price to drop further. Dollar yen here, very neutral close for the day at this point. So we'll just have to see how price reacts. If if the yen crosses basically start dropping, this one is likely to follow as well. But with this one, if dollar is weak, that will cause it to drop as well. This pair tends to get very, very volatile during FOMC, so just watch out for that. But in terms of the target, we are basically looking for this range. So 111.80 level to the upside, 111.111.00 to the downside. Euro pound. So euro pound went up today, but we are into resistance here. And if the price stays below this 8,900 level, so we are likely to see the price come back. So see, so even though it's a bullish close for the day, but the pin is quite large compared to the body. So it's almost the same size as the body. So because of that, we're looking for price to sort of reject this level, or it seems like price is rejecting this level. So we're looking for a bounce to the downside here. And in this case, the target would be 87.80 to the downside. And last one here, Euro Aussie. This is kind of fluctuating between this range here. So at this point, it is kind of holding above this level here. So I would say price may go to and test the high here of 1.5080 level. So this will still be bullish as long as it stays above 149.50ish level. So once price gets here, then we may see a bounce off of that level just because it is a high. This is a strong high. So we may see one of these moves in Euro Aussie. All right, so any questions? Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions, so we will call it a wrap, and I will see you guys tomorrow then.